Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors Part 2. We're going to do cuttings for small bonsai again, but this time I'm going to use a different soil because I don't believe in putting all my eggs in the same basket. So I'm going to use, for the cuttings, I'm going to use boxwood because this is what broke off during a winter storm, so might as well try and use them up. But for this batch, I'm going to use 1 cup of peat, 1 cup of sand, 1 cup of vermiculite, 1 cup of sifted perlite, and the cuttings I soaked for 2 days because they were all dehydrated. So let's get them out of the box. Here they are. Let me dump the water so you can see them better. Now, when we did the thuja, the reason why I stripped it, because that was the best way to get the node for rooting. It has a little tail and it has the node on there, so this way here we know it should root, so hopefully it will. But here are my cuttings, or what I'm going to use for cuttings. That's the boxwood, so we can make a bunch of cuttings out of this. And you just use an old mushroom dish that I bought mushrooms in, so just poke some holes in there and you can use that. I had my scissors sitting in peroxide. You can see, I don't know if you can see the bubbles on there, but it helped to sterilize them. Now I took out the old rooting hormone, I threw it out. I'm going to use some fresh into the cap. So I use an old bag for mixing, so save your old bags. Pour it in my container, fill it up. You can use different mixtures. You can use straight perlite, whatever you have on hand, straight sand, or you can just use a sterilized potting medium. So what I'm going to do is rip that off from the branch. You can see it's still green, so it's still living. So I'm going to take the stem off of there. Out of this one I can probably make 2 cuttings. So I'm going to cut just below the leaf. And then all I'm going to do is take your hands and strip the leaves off. You can see the node right there. It's a little ripped. So what I'm going to do is take one a little higher and cut it right below the node. And have a nice clean cut. And before I do anything, I should water the soil media so we got it good and wet. Sorry about that. I got my bigger wand because the other one, the spigot was all clogged up, so I'm going to have to really tear that apart and fix it. But with my gallon sprayer, I get to wet it in real good. It doesn't hurt to try different mixes. You got to see what succeeds for you and what doesn't succeed. Pack it in firm. Take my little skewer after I dip the cutting into the hormone. Make a hole, stick it in. Firm it in. Take the next one. Cut just below the node. Strip the leaves off. Dip the cutting into the hormone. Take your skewer, push it all the way in. Take another one. I'm trying to take more of a soft wood. It's a semi-hardwood cutting, but we try it. Usually they take a little longer to grow, but I'm going to strip that off. Cut down to the node about here. Take a couple more leaves off. And you got these clippings you can use to make little smaller bonsai trees. And boxwood are pretty strong, and you don't have to store them inside for the winter. There's plenty here. All you got to do is find your node, cut. Don't be afraid to try. It doesn't hurt. And we can make a lot of little plants out of this, as long as you get them in deep. And then we'll put a little top on there. And cut just below the node. Strip it. Cut a little bit more down to more, it's a little bit greener, a softer wood cutting. Dip it into my hormone. Firm it in. We got a couple more here that are good. So all I'm going to do is cut below a node. Strip the wood, dip it into the hormone, stick it in, and you never know what kind, if we can get a tree out of it, a little bonsai tree out of it or not. Right below the node. By stripping off the leaves, you wound the branch a little bit. And that helps callus over, and that'll tell the little branch to root. Throw another one all the way in. And don't forget to mark your plants. The last one on the thuja, I marked it for today's date. I'll just cut and dip into the rooting hormone and stick it in. Nothing hard to do, real easy. You got nothing to lose because it's just broken branches off a shrub. And these make a nice bonsai trees once you get them to grow. Remember, find your node. I don't know if you can barely see it, but and then just cut right below it. Stick it in real good. Let's do one more. Stripping the leaves off. Taking, find it below a nice fat node there. Dip it into the hormone. Now, since I still have a little bit of the thuja left, let's add it into this cutting mix and try it out. We got nothing to lose. Got a nice little tail on it. Cut some of the branches off, the little leaves. Cut a little bit of the top off. It works, it works. It don't, it don't. Like I say, it's free to try. If one roots faster than the other, so be it. At least we tried. Here's another one with a short tail on it. I'll put two in so I can have room for another cutting. Cut the tops a little bit. Dip it. The tail wasn't that long on this one, so we can use it. And stick it up close. Okay, we'll take another cutting. You can see how green the stem is, so that's a nice softwood cutting there. These things will survive all winter long, so I know they're going to be hardy. And if the roots intertwine with each other in here, it'll be good. They'll be easy to take apart because this is a nice soft rooting medium. Make sure you firmly push in the cuttings into the soil real good. You don't want no air pockets. Okay, that one has I can add a little more soil to it. I had to do these in 2 parts because I didn't want them to sit in the water too long. Otherwise they get moldy. I'm just adding a little more. That's why I save my bags. Good mixing trays. Okay, now we'll just water it in. And then I'll get a popsicle stick after I'm done with this video. Label what's here. I'll make a little top for it so that we can keep it moist. And we try it out. You might say, well, it's the wrong time of the season. It's still not spring yet, but I think spring's about a week or 2 away. But I'll put them in my little cheap greenhouse that I got for 50 bucks. That's one of them small standard ones. And I'll put it in there and let's see how it'll work. But that's it. We got our cuttings in there. And we're done. So, it's still Thursday night. Remember, get your tree catalogs out. Any kind of, you get a lot of free catalogs from Burpee, Parkseed, Territorial Seed Company. You can get from Starks. They have all kinds of fruit trees in there. Or just look online for trees that you might want to try out and see what you can get cheap to try. Or just walk through the neighborhood. If you see any broken tree branches down and the greens are still alive, try it. Take them, cut them off from the dead branch, let them soak for a couple of days, and then take your rooting hormone, your soil mixture, whatever you want to try, and give it a shot. You got nothing to lose. It's free. So don't be afraid to try it. You take care. Have a cup of tea on me, and I'll see you in the next video. My name's Tom Novak for Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors. Thank you for coming to the channel. Thank you.